We are caught in an illusion, thinking we are separate waves, forgetting that we are the ocean itself. Alan Watts. Stop everything you're doing. I want you to really let this sink in. You are not who you think you are. From the moment you were born, a story was handed to you. A name, a role, a carefully crafted identity. You were taught to believe, this is me. You learned your family's culture, followed society's rules, and internalized limits you never agreed to, but accepted anyway. And yet, deep down, haven't you always sensed it? That nagging whisper, wait, something isn't right here. Your body? It's an ever-shifting flow of particles. The cells that make up you today didn't even exist a few years ago, and tomorrow they'll be gone too. Even your thoughts and emotions come and go like waves on the surface of the sea. So if your body, your thoughts, and even your memories are constantly shifting, who or what are you really? Here's the truth they don't want you to realize. Everything you think you are, your past, your identity, your struggles, it's a story. A simulation, one so convincing, so detailed, that you've forgotten it's just that. A story. We live inside a mental matrix, a simulation not built by machines, but by beliefs, conditioning, and collective agreement. The roles you play, the reality you navigate, they are projections. And like any good simulation, it feels real until you question it. But here's where things get mind-blowing. John Wheeler, Einstein's collaborator and a giant in physics, shattered everything we thought we knew with one bold idea: the participatory universe. Wheeler's discovery revealed that reality doesn't exist as a fixed thing out there. Instead, reality arises because of you. You are not a spectator in this universe. You are the observer, the director, and the creator, all in one. The simulation you are trapped in. It's built, maintained, and projected by your own consciousness. And once you truly understand that, everything changes. Because the moment you realize you've been inside a mental game, you regain your power to rewrite the rules. The question is, are you ready to look beyond the illusion and see what's really behind the veil? But to truly break free from this illusion, we first need to understand, how did this false identity even get planted so deeply? To answer that, we have to go back to the very moment your story began. Part 1. The story you were given, how your identity was constructed. The moment you were born, something profound and invisible happened. Even before you took your first breath, a script had already been written for you. A name was chosen. A gender was declared. Boxes were ticked. And from that moment on, you began your journey inside a story you didn't create. But here's the thing. This wasn't some sinister conspiracy. It was simply the world doing what it has always done, passing down its rules, roles, and expectations from one generation to the next. Like a baton in a race no one questions. Let's look at it step by step. Your name. It sounds simple, but it's one of the first and most powerful symbols that start carving out your identity. It assigns you to a family, a culture, a language. Before you could even speak, you were labeled, boxed in, and filed neatly into society's system. And then come the roles. You're taught what's appropriate based on your gender. You're given a roadmap of what a good son, daughter, student, or citizen should look like. You're praised when you fit in, corrected when you stray too far. You learn very early that approval equals safety, and so, bit by bit, you trade your natural impulses for the comfort of fitting in. But have you ever stopped to ask, who set these standards? Who wrote these roles? The answer is both simple and unsettling. The people before you, your parents, teachers, and leaders who themselves inherited the same script, mostly without questioning it. And so you stepped into a pre-made mold, one that seemed normal because everyone around you was wearing their own mask too. Let's fast forward to today. We live in a world where the identity game has evolved, and in many ways it has become even more intense. Social media has turned the spotlight up to maximum. Now, it's not enough to play your role in the physical world. You have to curate an online avatar too. Your digital self is sculpted carefully. You pick the best angles, the clever captions, the moments that seem perfect. You build a version of yourself meant to project confidence, happiness, and success. And every like, share, or comment becomes a tiny dopamine hit, reinforcing this digital persona. But here's the trap. The more you invest in this online self, the more disconnected you can feel from your real essence, the you that exists when no one is watching. It's a fascinating paradox. We live in an age of hyper-connection, yet many people have never felt more disconnected from themselves. And it's not just about social media. Culture as a whole plays a massive role in shaping your identity. Think of the slogans you've heard over and over again. Work hard and you'll succeed. Money doesn't grow on trees. Stay humble, don't aim too high. Be realistic. These statements seem harmless, even wise at first glance. But they plant deep seeds of belief that success is hard, that life is limited, and that you should always stay within your lane. Here's a question worth asking. Who benefits from you believing these things? When people accept these ideas without questioning, they become easier to control. They become predictable, manageable, and, most importantly, disconnected from their true power. It's like being born in a grand mansion, but only ever living in one tiny room, because someone once told you the rest of the house was off limits. And yet, something inside you always knew there was more. That's why you've felt those strange moments of inattention, the quiet but persistent voice saying, "Is this really it? Is this all there is?" That's your true self whispering, the part of you that remembers what you were before the mask was put on. But here's the twist. The system isn't malicious by design. It's just a pattern that keeps repeating because no one stops to question it. Each generation hands down the same rules, the same fears, the same small vision of what life is supposed to be, until someone like you decides to pause and look deeper. Let's ground this in a simple analogy. Imagine you were born in a house with heavy blackout curtains covering every window. From your first day, you were told, "This is all there is. This house, these walls, this is your world." And so, you made peace with it. You decorated your room, memorized every inch of the space, and convinced yourself it was enough. But one day, you noticed a sliver of light peeking through a tiny tear in the curtain. For the first time, you felt something you couldn't explain, a glimpse of something vast, beautiful, and free. But before you could investigate, someone rushed over, patched the curtain, and told you, "Stop imagining things. Stay focused on what's real." And so you did. But deep down, that glimpse of light never left you. That is the experience of waking up to your true self. And that's exactly why you're here now, because some part of you has always remembered the light. So let's be clear, your name, your job, your status, even your memories, these are tools, costumes, properties. They help you play certain roles in the world, but they are not you. The real you is the awareness behind it all, the silent observer who has been present in every moment of your life, unchanged and untouchable. Ask yourself this: if everything you identify with, your name, your body, your story, suddenly disappeared tomorrow, would you still exist? The answer is yes. Because who you truly are is beyond form, beyond story. This awakening is not about rejecting the roles you play. It's about realizing you are more than them. You can still enjoy the play, but now you know you're the actor, not just the character. And yes, peeling back these layers can feel uncomfortable. Letting go of old identities is like stepping into the unknown. But what you find on the other side is something no label can define: freedom. But peeling back the curtain is just the beginning. To truly understand how this illusion became so convincing, we need to look deeper into the very mechanics of reality itself. And for that, we turn to science, where John Wheeler's discoveries reveal a truth that will shake the foundation of everything you thought you knew. Part 2. The Participatory Universe, Wheeler's Discovery, and Your True Power. Let's slow things down for a moment and really take this in. For most of your life, you've probably believed a familiar story, that the universe exists separately from you, as a vast mechanical system that keeps moving no matter what you do or think. You've been taught that you're just a passenger, riding along for the journey, reacting to whatever life throws your way. But what if that entire idea is wrong? John Wheeler, a brilliant 20th century physicist, shattered the old view. His groundbreaking idea, the participatory universe, delivers a radical truth. Wheeler discovered reality doesn't pre-exist as some fixed thing out there. It comes into being through observation. In other words, you are not a passive observer. You are a co-creator of reality itself. Take a moment to let that sink in. Instead of a fixed script where you merely react to pre-written scenes, Wheeler revealed, life is a live performance, shifting moment by moment, shaped by your every thought and choice. And this changes everything. Right now, at this very moment, you are influencing the unfolding of reality. Not someday, not in some abstract way. Now, your awareness is an active force, shaping your experience in ways that are far more powerful than you may realize. Now, let's talk about something we all experience but rarely question: time. We are conditioned to see time as a straight path, past behind us, future ahead of us, the present as a fleeting dot on that line. But Wheeler, along with other quantum pioneers, showed us that time is not linear at all. In fact, it behaves much more like a loop or a web, a network of moments that all exist at once. Imagine reality like a movie reel. All the frames, past, present, and future, already exist together. What we experience as time is simply the projection of these frames in order, creating the illusion of movement. This means the you of yesterday, today, and tomorrow, they are all connected, all part of the same fabric of existence. And here's the incredible part. Your observation in this moment has the power to influence not just your future, but your experience of the past as well. That's why inner work, like healing, forgiveness, and revision, can completely transform your present reality. When you change how you perceive the past, you are shifting the energetic imprint of your entire timeline. Now let's dive deeper into something that proves, beyond a doubt, that everything is connected: quantum entanglement. In simple terms, quantum entanglement happens when two particles become linked. No matter how far apart they are, across a room, across galaxies, changing one particle instantly changes the other. Einstein called it spooky action at a distance, but Wheeler and many other scientists proved that this phenomenon is real. So what does it mean for you? It means that at the most fundamental level, you are not separate. You are part of a vast, interconnected field. Every thought, every action, every emotion ripples through the universe, touching everything. This is why you feel those moments of deep connection, why you think of a friend and they call seconds later, why signs and synchronicities seem to appear just when you need them most. You are entangled with everything. Let's look at a real-world example to make this clearer. Meet Sarah, a life coach who for years struggled to grow her business. She carried the belief that success was reserved for others, and no matter what she did, she felt stuck. After learning about Wheeler's participatory universe, she made a decision to experiment. Instead of focusing on what wasn't working, she shifted her awareness. She chose to believe, with full presence, that her work was valuable and that opportunities were aligning. She didn't just hope, she observed her reality through this new lens. She took aligned action, spoke with confidence, and paid close attention to the shifts around her. Within months, Sarah's entire reality began to change. Clients found her through referrals. She was invited to speak at events. Her income grew faster than she ever expected. Was this magic? Number. It was alignment with a universal law. When you change the way you participate in reality, reality responds. Let's slow down again and really feel the power of this. You are not here to be a passive witness. You are not at the mercy of circumstances. You are a co-creator, shaping life with your awareness, your beliefs, and your choices. Even the smallest shift in focus sends ripples through the field of possibility. Every morning, you have a choice. You can wake up and think, here we go again. Or you can consciously decide, today, I participate with clarity and intention. And as you move through your day, remember this. The universe is not indifferent. It is responsive. It mirrors your energy, your focus, your state of being. So here's a simple way to anchor this truth. Each morning, pause and ask yourself, what reality am I choosing to participate in today? Throughout your day, when old fears or doubts pop up, stop and remind yourself, I am not just observing reality, I am actively shaping it. And before you sleep, take a moment to reflect. What did I choose to observe today? How did it shape my experience? This small daily practice can shift your awareness in powerful ways. You'll begin to notice patterns, synchronicities, and alignments that remind you of your true creative power. John Wheeler's participatory universe isn't just a theory for scientists. It's a blueprint for how to live a conscious, empowered life. Now you know, reality isn't happening to you. It's happening through you and because of you. But if that's true, you might be wondering, why do I sometimes feel stuck? Why do I still fall into old patterns of fear and limitation? The answer lies in a force that has been running quietly in the background of your life since you were very young. A force that whispers doubt and keeps you small. It's time to bring that force into the light. It's time to understand the hidden program that has shaped your perception all along. And that force is the ego. Part 3. The ego illusion. The headset keeping you small. Let's imagine something for a moment. You're wearing a state-of-the-art virtual reality headset. It's so advanced, so immersive, that you completely lose yourself in the experience. Suddenly, you're no longer sitting safely in your room. You're deep inside a dense, terrifying forest. You hear wolves howling in the distance, feel the cold bite of the wind on your skin, and every part of your body believes, this is real. Your heart pounds, you panic, you react instinctively, your survival mode kicks in, but then in an instant, you take off the headset. And what happens? The forest vanishes. The fear fades. You blink, take a deep breath, and realize it was just a simulation all along. This, my friend, is the perfect metaphor for the ego. The ego is like a VR headset you've been wearing since you were a child. It tells you who you are, feeds you stories about your identity, your limitations, your worth. It shapes your entire worldview, whispering constantly in your mind, "You're small. You're separate from everything else. You're not enough." And because you've been wearing this headset for so long, often without even realizing it, it feels completely real. But here's the breakthrough. The ego is not you. It's just a program, a clever illusion designed to keep you within safe, predictable boundaries. What started as a useful survival mechanism has slowly turned into a prison, a set of walls you believe you can't escape. The ego's original purpose was practical, to help you navigate the world, avoid danger, and stay alive. But over time it shifted from being a tool you use to becoming a lens through which you see everything. And that's where the trouble begins. The ego is sneaky. It whispers things like, "I'm not good enough. I'll never succeed. Who am I to dream that big? If I don't get their approval, I'm worthless." Sound familiar? These are what I call the ego's greatest hits. And the more you listen to them, the more your world shrinks. The ego's entire mission is to keep you safe, but its definition of safety is deeply flawed. To the ego, familiar equals safe, even if that familiarity is painful or limiting. That's why it keeps you stuck in patterns, relationships, and jobs that no longer serve you. It would rather have you live small and predictable than risk the expansion of your true potential. Let's pause here for a moment of reflection. Think back over the past week. What's one recurring negative thought or belief that kept circling in your mind? Was it about your worth, your abilities, your future? Grab a notebook or your phone right now and write down one ego-scripted sentence you've caught yourself repeating. For example, "I don't have what it takes." "No one really cares what I have to say." "Things never work out for me." Take a breath. Look at it honestly. Now here's the practice. Next to that sentence, write down its exact opposite. Flip the script completely. For example, "I am more than capable." "My voice matters, and people value what I share." "Things are always working out for me, often in ways I don't expect." At first, this might feel strange, even uncomfortable, and that's perfectly normal. The ego hates being challenged. But here's the secret: that discomfort. It's a signal that you're starting to crack the illusion open. The ego's power only exists when it goes unchallenged. The moment you start noticing its patterns, like lifting the edge of the VR headset, you gain a new kind of clarity. You begin to realize that those fear-based thoughts aren't truths. They're just echoes of old programming. And the more you practice this awareness, the easier it becomes to catch the ego in real time. Let's deepen the metaphor even further. If your true self is like the sun, radiant, powerful, and ever-present, the ego is like a thick layer of cloud cover. The sun never stops shining. It's always there, brilliant and untouched. But when the sky is full of clouds, it can feel like the sun has disappeared. In reality, the sun is unchanged. It's simply hidden. That's exactly what happens with your consciousness. The ego creates noise, drama, fear, and doubt, clouds that seem to block your light. But beneath all that, your true essence, your pure awareness, is still there, unshaken, infinite. So how do you keep the clouds from taking over? Here's a powerful mantra you can use anytime you notice ego thoughts creeping in. "Thank you for sharing, but I am not that thought." It's gentle but firm. You're not fighting the ego, you're simply disidentifying from it. You're reminding yourself that while the thought exists, it doesn't define you. And over time, this practice becomes a powerful muscle. Instead of reacting automatically to fear or doubt, you begin to respond with clarity and presence. One more important thing: the ego loves comparison. It thrives on measuring you against others. Who's ahead? Who's more successful? Who's more worthy? But comparison is just another trap to keep you small. The next time you catch yourself spiraling into comparison, pause and say, "I am on my own unique path. No one can walk it but me." This simple reminder pulls you back into your center, your power. Because here's the deeper truth: you were never meant to live small. You were never meant to stay hidden inside the ego's tiny box. Your essence is vast, expansive, and endlessly creative. But until you remove the headset, until you see through the illusion, you'll keep playing small because you think it's all there is. And that's exactly what the ego wants. But now, you know better. You've glimpsed the truth behind the illusion. You've seen that the ego is just a program, a protective shell that once helped you, but now limits your growth. And the most beautiful part? The moment you begin to observe the ego, its grip starts to loosen. You don't have to destroy the ego or go to war with it. You simply have to see it clearly. And in that clarity, a new world opens up. A world where you are no longer ruled by fear, doubt, or limitation. The ego may have made you forget your true nature, but reality has never stopped whispering reminders. And those reminders often arrive in subtle but powerful ways. Synchronicities, insights, moments of deep peace. The question is, are you paying attention? Because the signals are always here, waiting for you to notice. Part 4. The Divine Mirror. How reality reflects your inner state. By now, you've uncovered how the ego creates an illusion, a distorted lens through which you see yourself as small, separate, and limited. But here's where things get even more fascinating and empowering. Because while the ego may cloud your vision, the universe never lies. It's always reflecting back to you the truth of your inner state, moment by moment. This is what I call the mirror effect. Let's unpack that. The universe isn't some random, indifferent machine tossing experiences your way without reason. It's alive, dynamic, and intelligent. A mirror that continuously reflects the frequencies you are emitting. Every thought, belief, emotion, and energetic pattern you hold forms a signal. And that signal shapes what you see and experience in the external world. It's like standing in front of a mirror. Whatever you project, whether love, fear, abundance, or lack, is what you'll see staring back at you. For example, if you're holding the deep-rooted belief, "I am not worthy," the universe will reflect that back. You'll encounter situations, people, and outcomes that seem to confirm that belief again and again. But if you shift your inner state to something like, "I am worthy and life supports me," the universe has no choice but to reflect that new reality back to you too. This isn't magic. It's not wishful thinking. It's alignment. Let's make it even clearer. Imagine your inner state is like a radio transmitter. Every day, whether you realize it or not, you're broadcasting a signal to the universe. And the universe, like a perfectly tuned receiver, picks up that frequency and sends back matching experiences. If you're tuned to the fear and scarcity station, guess what shows up? More fear, more scarcity. If you shift to the joy and abundance station, suddenly doors open, synchronicities happen, and life flows. It's simple physics. What you send out is what you get back. Let's look at an example you've probably experienced. You wake up in a bad mood. Maybe you didn't sleep well, or you're stressed about something, and suddenly everything seems to go wrong. You spill your coffee, traffic is brutal, someone cuts you off, a coworker snaps at you. The whole day feels like it's conspiring against you. But on other days, you wake up feeling grateful, excited and grounded, and magically things just click. You find a great parking spot, a friend surprises you with good news, opportunities pop up out of nowhere. Coincidence? Not at all. That's the mirror in action. But here's where it gets even more interesting. Most people move through life thinking reality is something that happens to them. They feel like victims of external forces, powerless to change what unfolds. But once you deeply understand the mirror principle, everything shifts. You realize that reality isn't something separate from you. It's an intimate reflection of your own inner world. And that means if you don't like what you're seeing, the power to change it starts within. Let's bring in a powerful visual. Picture your inner state as a vibrational dial. Every emotion, every belief you hold has a frequency, like a radio station. Gratitude, love, and joy. Those are high-frequency states. Fear, anger, and shame, lower frequency. Each time you shift your dial, whether up or down, you're literally retuning the frequency of your entire experience. This is why two people can walk into the exact same room and have completely different experiences. One sees opportunity and connection, the other sees rejection and hostility. The room didn't change, their vibration did. So how do you start becoming aware of your own broadcast and shift it intentionally? The quick self-check practice. Here's a simple but powerful tool I call the quick self-check. It's designed to help you pause, reflect, and retune your frequency at any point in the day. 1. Pause. Set a reminder to pause at least 3 times a day, morning, midday, and evening. Stop what you're doing for just 60 seconds. 2. Ask yourself, what am I feeling right now? What's my dominant thought right now? Is this a frequency I want to keep projecting? 3. Shift if needed. If your current state is positive, amplify it. Smile, breathe it in, and really feel the gratitude or joy. If it's negative, name it. For example, I'm feeling anxious. And then gently guide yourself upward. You can take 3 deep breaths. Think of one thing you're grateful for. Repeat an affirmation like, I choose to align with peace, clarity, and trust. It takes less than 2 minutes, but this tiny habit rewires your relationship with reality. You stop reacting and start creating. The truth about your emotions. Here's something most people overlook. Your emotions are not just feelings. They are instructions to the universe. Every time you feel something, whether it's love, fear, hope, or doubt, you're sending out a message that says, more of this, please. And the universe? It always listens. That's why emotional awareness is so critical. The mirror reflects not only your conscious thoughts, but also your unconscious vibrations. Even if you consciously desire abundance, but deep down are vibrating scarcity, the mirror will reflect scarcity until you shift your inner world. But the moment you become aware, you reclaim your power. The pebble metaphor. Let's solidify this with another metaphor. Think of reality as a vast pond. Every thought, belief, and emotion is a pebble you toss in, sending ripples that shape the world around you. The ripples expand outward, touching everything around you, and then return in the form of life experiences. The question is, what kind of pebbles are you tossing in every day? When you master the mirror principle, synchronicities, the magical alignments that seem random, stop being mysterious. You realize they are feedback, showing you that your inner state is in harmony with your desires. And when challenges or blocks arise, they're not punishments, they are signals, an invitation to pause and ask, what is being reflected here? What belief or emotion is this showing me? This is how life itself becomes your greatest teacher. Every experience, good or bad, is simply a reflection of your vibration. And here's the beautiful part. You don't have to control every external detail. Your only real task is to manage your inner state. The outer world will follow, naturally, inevitably. One final reminder, the mirror is neutral. It doesn't judge, it doesn't punish, it simply reflects, always. That's why self-compassion is key. You will catch yourself slipping into old patterns, and that's okay. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is awareness. Every time you notice, you grow stronger. Every time you shift, you send out a new ripple. So here's the ultimate question. If reality is just a mirror, what happens when the physical mirror, your body, your form, disappears? What remains then? To answer that, we must dive deeper into the greatest mystery of all, death, infinity, and your timeless self. Part 5. Death and infinity, breaking free from the final illusion. If there's one thing that haunts almost every human being, it's this. Death, the great unknown, the ultimate mystery, the one thing we're all told is inevitable. From a young age, we're taught to see death as an ending, an abrupt, terrifying full stop at the end of our story. It's the root of so many of our fears, fear of failure, fear of loss, fear of the unknown. Deep down, all of it ties back to the belief that someday I won't exist anymore. But what if that belief is the greatest illusion of all? Let's revisit what we've uncovered so far. We know that your body is in a constant state of change. The cells you have today weren't there 10 years ago. Your thoughts, emotions, and even your memories shift from moment to moment. So here's the question. If everything about you is constantly changing, then what exactly is it that dies? John Wheeler's groundbreaking theories and countless spiritual traditions point us toward an answer that's both shocking and liberating. We perceive life as a straight line, birth, youth, old age, and death. But in truth, time is an illusion, a loop, a projection playing on the screen of your awareness. But this linear sequence is just a story your mind tells to make sense of experience. In reality, all of it is happening simultaneously, in an eternal, infinite now. Here's a metaphor to make that real. Imagine life as a giant film reel. Every single frame, the past, the present, the future, already exists. What we call time is simply the process of playing those frames in order. It gives the illusion of movement, but in truth, the entire reel is already complete. And your consciousness? It's the projector. This means that the you of yesterday, the you of today, and the you of tomorrow aren't separate. They're all threads woven into the same endless fabric of existence. And at the center of it all is awareness, the unchanging observer. So when we ask, what happens when I die? The real question is, what happens to the awareness that's been watching all along? And the answer is profound. Nothing. Awareness isn't born, and it doesn't die. It's the eternal field in which birth and death appear. The body comes and goes, thoughts and identities rise and fall. But the awareness behind it all remains untouched. Think of a wave rising from the ocean. For a while it seems separate, unique, distinct, even important. But eventually the wave returns to the sea. does it disappear. Number the form dissolves, but the essence, the water, was never lost. You are that essence. To help you feel this more deeply, let's take a moment for a simple guided meditation that will connect you to your infinite nature. Guided meditation, touching your timeless self. Wherever you are, pause, sit comfortably, close your eyes, take a slow, deep breath in, and exhale gently. Now shift your attention away from your body, your thoughts, your surroundings. Simply bring your awareness to the sense of being. Not what you are, not who you are, just the pure feeling of I am. Feel that presence. It's quiet, still, unchanging. Now imagine this presence stretching outward, beyond your body, beyond this room, expanding infinitely in all directions. Notice something. This awareness has no edge, no boundary. It wasn't born. It doesn't age. It doesn't end. Stay here for a few breaths, just resting in the vastness of your true nature. This is you, the real you, timeless, infinite, indestructible. When you're ready, gently open your eyes, carrying this deeper knowing with you. You see, the more you connect with this timeless awareness, the less fear you feel in daily life. The fear of death, it starts to dissolve, not because you deny it, but because you realize that death is not what you thought it was. Death isn't the opposite of life. It's simply a change of form. Your awareness, your essence, can never be touched by death because it's not of the body. It's the field within which the body appears and disappears. This is why many ancient teachings tell us, what is born will die. What was never born can never die. And here's where it gets even more empowering. Once you stop fearing death, you also stop fearing life. You become bolder, more authentic, more aligned. You stop playing small. You no longer chase validation because you know, deep down, that you are already complete. This doesn't mean you reject the physical world. On the contrary, you begin to embrace it fully. You experience life more richly because you're no longer held hostage by the illusion that everything is temporary and fragile. John Wheeler's participatory universe ties this truth back to science. His theories tell us that reality only exists because of awareness. You are not just watching the universe, you are shaping it. And death? It's not a shutdown of the system. It's simply a shift in the way awareness expresses itself. Let's bring this home with a simple analogy. Imagine you're wearing different clothes every day. Each outfit represents a different identity, a different role, a different chapter of your life. When you change clothes, do you disappear? Of course not. The clothes change, but you remain. Life and death are like those clothes. Forms change, experiences shift, but your true self, the pure awareness, never leaves. Take a moment and really feel into that. You are not your body. You are not your thoughts. You are not your story. You are the awareness behind it all. And that awareness, it's as old as the stars and as fresh as this breath. It is existence itself. This is why mystics and scientists alike come to the same realization. You are not a fleeting visitor in the universe. You are the universe, experiencing itself through the lens of your awareness. So now, knowing all of this, a new question arises. What will you do with this truth? This is where everything changes. This is where knowledge becomes power. It's time to step beyond being a mere observer and claim your role as the conscious creator of your reality. Part 6. The Creator's Choice. How to consciously recode reality. We've traveled far together. You've unraveled the illusion of identity. You've witnessed the ego's games and recognized that even death is just a doorway, not an ending. You now understand that you are not just a passive observer, you are infinite awareness itself. But now we arrive at the pivot point. Because awakening to your true nature is only the first half of the journey. The second half, becoming the conscious creator of your reality, this is where John Wheeler's theory takes on its most empowering meaning. His famous concept, it from bit, might sound abstract at first, but its implications are revolutionary. Here's what it means. At the deepest level, everything you see, feel, and experience is made up of information. Every physical thing, your body, your job, your relationships, your bank account, is the result of data. Bits of yes or no, like a binary code. In other words, reality is not solid, it's not fixed, it's programmable. Think of your life as a vast, complex software program. Every belief you hold, every thought you entertain, every action you take, they are all lines of code that shape your experience. And here's the kicker. You are the coder. Most people don't realize this. They think life is something that happens to them, a pre-written script they're forced to follow. But the truth is far more powerful. Your reality emerges from your choices. Every time you choose a thought, an emotion, or an action, you are literally inputting new code into the system of your life. This is why two people can face the same circumstances and have completely different experiences. One sees obstacles, the other sees opportunities. One stays stuck, the other grows. The difference? Their internal coding. And this means something extraordinary. If you want to change your reality, you don't need to fight the outside world. You need to reprogram your inner world. Let's make this real with a simple but powerful process. You can start right now. The Recode Challenge. Grab a notebook or open a blank note on your phone. We're going to walk through 4 steps that will help you consciously recode your reality. Step 1. Identify a limiting belief. Think of an area in your life where you feel blocked. What's the belief running in the background? For example, I'll never be financially free. I'm not worthy of love. Success is for other people, not me. Be brutally honest. Write it down. Step 2. Trace the impact. Now ask, how has this belief shaped my reality so far? What patterns has it created? Be specific. For instance, because I believe I can't be financially free, I avoid taking risks and settle for less. Because I feel unworthy of love, I sabotage relationships or attract unavailable partners. Seeing the cause and effect connection is key. It shows you just how powerful your beliefs really are. Step 3. Flip the code. Now write the opposite belief, one that aligns with the reality you want to experience. Examples. Abundance is my natural state, and I am open to receive it. I am deeply worthy of love, exactly as I am. I am fully capable of success, and opportunities flow to me. Don't just write it, feel it. Close your eyes and repeat it out loud. Let it land in your body. Step 4. Anchor it with aligned action. Here's where many people stop, but we won't. To truly rewrite your reality, you must act from your new belief. Ask yourself, what is one concrete action I can take in the next 24 hours to reinforce this new code? For example, apply for that job you've been doubting. Start a savings plan, no matter how small. Have a heartfelt conversation with someone you care about. Invest time in learning a new skill. Write down your action and commit to doing it within the next 24 hours. Why is this so important? Because action is the bridge between thought and reality. When you act from your new belief, you're telling your subconscious, this is real now. This is who I am. And the universe, it responds accordingly. Real life example, Maya's shift. Let me share a quick story. Maya had always dreamed of starting her own wellness business, but her deep-seated belief was, I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. This belief kept her stuck in a 9-to-5 job she hated for years. One day, she decided to rewrite the code. Her old belief, I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. New belief, I am fully capable of running a thriving business that changes lives. Her first aligned action? She booked a consultation with a business coach, something she'd been too scared to do before. That one action sent ripples through her entire life. Within a year, Maya had launched her business, gained her first clients and, most importantly, began to believe in herself in a way she never had before. Her outer reality changed because she changed her inner code, and the same is possible for you. The ripple effect of choice. Here's something powerful to remember. Every choice you make sends ripples through the fabric of reality. No choice is too small. Every decision to believe, to act, to stay aligned, builds momentum. And momentum compounds. It starts as a whisper and grows into a roar. That's why your commitment matters. Even if you don't see instant results, keep showing up. Keep choosing the new code. Reality has to follow, because that's how the game works. John Wheeler's participatory universe isn't just theory, it's a blueprint for transformation. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the reality you desire, you literally bend the fabric of existence. This isn't metaphysics, it's physics. The power is yours. So here's the truth. You are not at the mercy of fate. You are not a passive passenger in life. You are the creator, the coder, the architect. The question is, what reality will you build next? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to start. Because every new belief, every inspired action, every aligned choice, it all stacks up, rewiring the very code of your life. And now that you hold this power, it's time to think bigger. It's time to connect your personal awakening to something greater, a collective shift that uplifts not just your life, but the world around you. Let's step into that mission. Together. You are the master coder. Join the movement. We've arrived at the end of this journey, but in truth, this is only the beginning for you. By now, you've seen through the illusion. You understand that life is not something that just happens to you. It's something you've been creating all along, whether consciously or unconsciously. You are not just a character in the story. You are the author, the director, and the actor. But let's take that image one step further. You're not just playing the game. You are the coder of the game itself. Every belief you hold, every emotion you feel, every action you take, they are all lines of code. And that code writes the script of your reality. Most people live their entire lives unaware of this truth. They stay trapped in the illusion, thinking they are powerless, thinking they are just a small piece in a giant machine. But you know better now. You've learned that awareness is the foundation, that your beliefs shape your perception, that your actions lock in the new code, and that your energy is the signal that draws matching experiences to you. Consciousness plus belief plus action plus energy equals creation. This is the formula. This is the key. And now it's in your hands. So what will you do with it? It's tempting to sit with this knowledge and think, wow, that's powerful. But true transformation doesn't happen from knowing alone. It happens when you act. Every time you choose a new thought, every time you align your actions with your true desires, every time you raise your vibration, you are rewriting the source code of your life. And those small choices, they ripple outward. They touch your family, your community, and yes, the collective consciousness of the entire planet. Never underestimate your power. Never think that your ripple is too small, because when enough of us awaken, when enough of us start coding reality intentionally, we create a shift so massive it changes everything. Now, here's your next step. First, comment below. Let's make this real. Write a simple sentence like, "I am rewriting my source code," or anything that feels true for you. This isn't just for engagement, it's a public commitment to yourself, a signal that you're stepping into your power. Second, subscribe. If this message resonated, you're part of something bigger now. This channel is a space for truth seekers and creators, people who are done playing small and ready to shape reality from the inside out. Hit that subscribe button so you never miss the next tool, insight, or breakthrough. Third, share this video. You know someone, a friend, a family member, who needs to hear this. Be the ripple. Share it with at least one person today. You never know how deeply it might change their life. And remember this, every action you take right now, whether it's commenting, subscribing, sharing, or implementing what you've learned, isn't just a random step. It's a line of code that writes your next chapter, a line of code that strengthens your own reality and contributes to the rising frequency of the collective. Because when you rise, we all rise. This is how true change happens, not from waiting for some external force to save us, but from each of us stepping up, taking ownership, and coding the reality we wish to see. You are the master coder. You are the architect of your experience, and the pen has always been in your hands. Now it's time to use it boldly. We've built the foundation together: awareness, belief, action, energy. You've learned the tools, you've glimpsed your true power. So what's next? That's up to you. But I challenge you, don't let this just be a video you watched and moved on from. Let it be the moment everything changed, the moment you decided to take back the controls, the moment you stepped fully into your power as a conscious creator. The world is waiting for the reality that only you can build, and only you can lead. Let's build it together.